Hey, Trish. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Dana.
Hello, everybody. And here we are for another talk about broadening the student mental health conversation. I'm joined by the lovely Trish Keiller, and I'm Dana Bagdasarian. And as always, we like to begin our conversations with some breath work.
Yeah.
No matter where we're at in our day, we can always benefit from having a moment of being in touch with your body. And so for today, we would like to do heart breathing. And this one is very simple. You need your hands. Did you bring your hands today, Trish? Oh,
Got it.
good. There they
Ready.
are.
Ready.
Take your hands, put them over your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. And if you knew exactly what your heart looks like, picture that in your mind's eye. And as you breathe in slowly through your nose. Utilize that wonderful built in filtration system we have to filter that air. Breathe in through your nose as deep as feels right for you. Exhale slowly, inhale slowly. And as you're picturing that heart, take a moment of gratitude for all it does for you without being asked. It simply beats, it simply transfers the blood throughout your body. It allows you to do all the wonderful things you do in your life. See if you can really feel the heartbeat beneath your hands. And again, if you knew exactly what it looked like, picture it. As you breathe in through your nose and you exhale either through your mouth or your nose, whichever feels right for you today, understand that breathing through your nose activates your parasympathetic system and lets your body know you're safe right now. That slow, deliberate breath allows your vagus nerve to relax, allows your whole body to enjoy that right now you are safe. Some days you want to breathe deeply into your belly. Some days you might be at that midpoint. Some days you just breathe in your chest. Where are you today with your breath? Just take another moment or two to appreciate this beautiful heart, this beautiful life, this beautiful moment. When you feel ready, you can gently return to this moment. Open your eyes. Hi.
Hi.
There she is. I love that beautiful smile.
Back at you. Back at you. Thank you so much for that. It reminds me that often our narrative that we carry is that the more things we have on our plate in any given day or moment, or the fuller our schedule, or the busier we are, that the less time we have for things like this that might feel extra. And the truth is that the more things we have, what serves us most is being present in that thing. And so, in all transparency, I asked Dana this morning, I was like, hey, can you get us going in an exercise that will serve me because I'm feeling sped up because of
Mm.
all, right, vacation tomorrow and all the things today. And of course, the World Cup tonight that has to be prioritized in my schedule and all of those things. So thank you, Dana, for that, for me personally.
Well, and I just really think that it's a powerful moment to, if you knew what your heart looked like. I just love that kind of language.
Yeah.
Um, some people picture literally the drawing, right, of this shape, and some people get a little more anatomical. And,
Yep.
I think it's fun to play with yourself of, well, what do you think your heart looks like?
Yep.
And you're right. Whatever you see is right. And that's just a beautiful way to picture your own. I mean, this is us. This is our body. This is what we get.
Yeah. And what a fascinating like mystery that it all literally lives like closer than we are to ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's such great mystery around it, right? And we
Yeah.
look in books and when we read and we listen to podcasts and we know bones and names and structures, but to somatically feel into the life breathing you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, when we get overwhelmed by it, we just kind of like bow down to the mystery,
Yeah.
It's always like my biggest prayer for my daughter that she'll always just be in the mystery. Like
Yeah.
if she can stay oriented to the mystery, I think there's great joy. I think
That's a beautiful sentiment to wish for your daughter. And I mean, there is a reason that our skin isn't translucent. It's obviously an evolutionarily designed, feature of humans. There isn't any human that is, you can just see. So there is a reason for us to get to have that mystery. And
Yeah.
it's sort of part of how we're designed.
Yeah. So speaking of mysteries, should we get into our topic for the day?
Yes. That's a mystery.
So
What
the
is our
mystery-
topic for today?
Dana's like, what are we talking about? We are talking about what is most alive for me right now, and I think for many people in the world, and that is the World Cup. And Dana and I, in our sort of brief moment to check in before this, mentioning, and it was just so perfect, of course, that you brought us into picturing our hearts and imagining our hearts, because over the past couple of weeks watching the World Cup has been every experience of the human emotion that as that we think about in the heart, the pure anguish that we've seen from players, the Canadian player who broke his leg, the anguish from the Qatar player who was responsible for breaking his leg, the players supporting each other, the tears, the fans, and it was reminding me that we often have this sort of narrative around wanting like peace and calm. And when you go to a sporting event, when you go to an amusement park, when you go to the movies, we really go in with not wanting peace and calm.
That's right.
We don't want to know the score
sure.
again and again. We want to like see it. We want to like live all of the experiences. So Dana, I thought it would be fun and I'm curious your experience around that, like this drive and desire that we have as humans, like we really do want to go on the journey of the complete anguish and the euphoria, because without the contrast, then we can't experience the other, right?
Yes, that's right. I mean, how do you know you've had a very good day unless you've had a bad day?
Yeah.
Right. And it's just this sort of duality of experience. And of course, it's much more vast than duality, but just for the purposes of our conversation, that calm versus excited and that sort of thing is definitely a huge driver of humanity. Yeah. I mean, even the creation of the wheel was to get somewhere faster. The creation of fire, I mean, can you imagine what that must have been like to figure that out, and all of the excitement and fear and all of that, right? So it seems to be a fundamental part of our our drive for existence.
Yeah, and really that sort of that big umbrella of really what I think being here to learn and to grow and to do that, to experience that full range. And then really our passion from some of our own experience in life is then we had to figure out like, oh wait, how do I do that? Because sometimes it feels like too much. It feels like I can't actually hold that inside of me. And then we see the actions and the behavior sometimes that don't support us, right, in living most joyfully in those experiences. So even in the World Cup, right, when there's the red card and the player has to leave the games, like, oh, there was like a moment where it kind of got away from them in a way that maybe they would choose differently next time. And so our work with students, with family, with mostly with ourselves. Hello, right, Dana? Is to use tools and practices that help us be able to live like the biggest fullness, so that we can go to a game and bite our nails and be on the edge of our seat and be able to experience both this really extreme high and sometimes really, really deep low.
Yeah, that's right. And really where our work with our assembly and the work we do with kids in general is to manage those red card moments, right? Where, you did
Yeah.
make a choice that led to a consequence of some sort. And whether that's a personal consequence within your own experience or whether that's an external consequence, the fact of the matter is life is not easy. And, there's all these things that we do to sort of manage that. But as a kid, when you are developing your toolbox, there are some tools that are just easier to reach for that don't necessarily serve you. And yet there are other tools that are just as easy to reach for, but if you don't know they're there, right, then maybe you make a different choice. So just that simple breath work that we did, you and I talk all the time about how people say, oh, breath work, schmeth work, right? Like, I got that, right? But actually, wow, that is something that kids don't think of as, oh, I got that. They don't know that how powerful this is. And it's a chance to get to show them in real time, hey, picture your heart. And kids are so imaginative. Could you imagine
Yeah.
asking a room full of children to draw what they picture as their heart? Every picture is going to be different in some way, right? And that's what our work is at the core of, is getting people to lean into their creativity, lean into their relationship with their body, so that when they do get a red card, they do have the ability. They say, oh gee, I could do some tapping, I could do some breath work, I could do some yoga, I could think about the way I'm speaking to myself in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think even at a simpler level too, we won't go too down the rabbit hole with the yellow card also, but just being willing to participate, just going out for the team. I mean, there's so much, and even we look at all the youth sports and clubs and play equity, and there's so many layers, right, in sports and competition and what that means. But just the ability to say yes and to go out for a team and to participate and understand your role and maybe sit on the bench for a while, or maybe what it's like to be a starter. I keep pointing out to my daughter every time we're watching something, watch the player, watch their movement, watch their face, take a look at their breathing, right? They're about to take a penalty kick. What's their go-to, right? They are getting themselves centered because there's so much emotion. There's so much energy in these stadiums of 70,000 people. And it's, we went to see Canada in the World Cup here at SoFi on Sunday, and man, it's palpable. Energy is palpable, it's like there's a lot happening there. So being able to ride the waves of extreme, a lot of energy and a lot of emotion, what a gift. I mean, it's just been the greatest gift for me. So that's certainly many places to play with how do we manage ourselves in big moments, World Cup, on a stage, right? Singing, getting ready for, our LSAT or whatever, getting married, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
These are tools and practices that are timeless, that can serve us in all of the moments of our humanity.
Well, that's exactly right. And the thing too is that as a teenager, as a, preteen, those years, most of those moments feel just as big as a World Cup game, right? As an adult, you might say, well, gee, I thought that was such a big deal at the time, and now I see, and so that's why having those tools is especially important at that age, because oh, what I wear today is, and just those feelings, and they're very real to the kid. And what are you going to say to the kid? That's not real. No, that's where they're
Very
at. You
real. It
meet
is real. Yeah.
children where they are. And then with maturity comes the ability to, decipher which moments are World Cup And which moments are you and your buddies kicking a ball at the park on a Saturday where
Yeah,
there's low
exactly.
stake, right? You learn the difference between
Yeah.
low stakes and high stakes a bit more, but I mean, I know I remember that feeling of, wow, this is going to determine the course of the rest of my life, right? For these little moments. So if having those tools, and I love that you point out to your daughter, notice their posture, their breathing, their how are they sort of drowning out the noise, focusing. And of course,
Yeah.
as a hypnotist, I just love that you're teaching her to watch their self hypnosis techniques. Love it.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a playground out there to
Yes.
point out how we all make it work, right? We
Yeah.
all do have our coping ways, and our intention is certainly just to add to the toolbox, so you've
Yeah.
got more ways. And yeah, well, what do you think, Dana? Should we go
Well,
game for the USA game tonight?
yeah.
There's a few things to do between now and then. There's a few things that
I am in the very minority of the world because I just don't get soccer. So, what I do get is the finals of any sport. It's so exciting. It doesn't matter what sport it is and how much I know, how fun to watch the culmination of so much months, years, lifetime of hard work in these moments. And
yeah,
I really enjoy the concepts of soccer, the finals more than I understand the mechanics of the game. So I'm the one that's at the party going, "Oh, that was good. Yes." I wait for everybody else to react.
all are welcome. All fans are welcome. Just to enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. All right,
So,
friend.
yes,
Closing comments.
I just I love the way that you are bringing a big event in the world, boiling it down, sharing some of the ways that you're using that to help your daughter learn, bringing that to all of us here to have a conversation about something that is so important. And I just think you're real swell, Trish.
Oh, right back at you. Right back. From my heart to yours. Thank you for creating this space. I appreciate
Yes,
you.
and thank you everybody. And
Thank you,
if you
everyone.
ever have any questions for us, DM Trish, DM myself, drop a comment below. We love hearing feedback. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.